All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to fall 2023 at University of Illinois, Chicago. My name is Professor John Arabagan, and this is MUS 114. It's Jazz History Online. This is going to be a brief introductory video where we talk about the syllabus, and we go through the weekly schedule, and we talk about my expectations for the class and all of that. This is an asynchronous class, which means we don't get together, and all the videos will be available on Blackboard, as well as links to the Spotify playlists that you're going to listen to every week, and links to the podcasts that you'll also listen to every week. This class is an A. You should be able to get an A in this class if you are able to manage your time correctly, put down reminders in your schedules, and just make sure you do the work regularly. Last semester, the people who were able to do well in the class, which was the vast majority of the students in the class, were able to keep track of the deadlines and follow them. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that doesn't always happen. So if you can look at your schedules and your syllabi for the class, I'm just going to read along. So please follow along. This is Jazz History, 3 credit hours for the fall of 2023. Again, my name is John Arabagan. I'm a saxophone player, composer, band leader here in Chicago. I lived in New York for 20 years, came back during the pandemic. This is MUS 114. Again, it's an asynchronous class, meaning that we're not going to meet at any day and any time. The videos will be on Blackboard well ahead of schedule, so I have plenty of time to do the weekly assignments. There's no office phone. There's no office location for me. I don't have an office at UIC. So the best way to get in touch with me is over email at arabagan@uic.edu. And I am pretty good about responding to emails if they warrant response. So the majority of this class is going to happen through Blackboard, which is at www.blackboard.uic.edu. And here we go. The course description, goals, and objectives of the class is this jazz history course will celebrate and decipher jazz, America's artistic gift to the world. The class will study the different eras in jazz and spotlight several of the key innovators and voices throughout jazz's rich history. The sessions will focus on important aspects of each era, important names, albums, and compositions, and feature several links to live and studio recordings as materials. By the end of the semester, the student will be able to name several jazz masters, explain the roots of jazz, and show the differences between eras, as well as show elementary understanding on the forms, instruments, and sheet music jazz musicians use to create and improvise. A report of a classic Blue Note Records album is part of the final grade, as well as attending and reporting on a live jazz performance, as the city of Chicago has a rich and important history of fostering and growing jazz and generations of unique improvisatory talent. So that's the course in a nutshell. It's basically weekly lectures that you're going to watch, weekly Spotify playlists that you're going to listen to, weekly podcasts that you're going to listen to, and then a weekly quiz at the end of each section that you're going to complete, which is going to be part of the final grade, along with 2 papers, 2 500-word papers, one being a Blue Note Records album from jazz's vast history, and one being attending and reporting on a live jazz performance this semester. We'll get into that in a second. Course materials, all lecture videos are going to be able to be found on the Blackboard site under the weekly content heading. Simply click on the corresponding week to see what you need to watch and what assignments are due. There's an optional text here. I'm not making you guys go buy any books or anything, but you can check out that optional text if the spirit moves you. Course policies, attendance. As an asynchronous class, attendance will not be taken. I don't care if you watch these videos the day they come out. If you wait till the last minute to before they're due, I don't care, but the lectures will be there. And your proof of attendance is actually doing the coursework. The lessons will appear in Blackboard in several groups as the semester proceeds, mostly in lecture videos, Spotify playlists, YouTube links, and supplemental reading. Required materials. All required materials will be available in PDF form on Blackboard under the Assignments tab. I will provide links to the Spotify playlists that contain all the required listening examples for each exam. Course technology requirements. Students will need a personal computer and a broadband internet connection. You may contact ACCC to request and borrow a laptop or be assigned a hotspot for the semester if you do not have the required hardware and internet capabilities. You will also need a free Spotify account to listen to the weekly playlists provided. Album and concert reviews. These are your 2 papers. Over the course of the semester, you will be required to write 2 500-word papers. The first reviewing a jazz album from the Blue Note Records catalog recorded between 1955 and 1969. The other is a review of a live jazz concert you will attend this semester and comment on. A list of UIC-related, meaning inexpensive or free of charge, jazz concerts will be provided in the early weeks of the course, as well as a list of performances in and around the Chicago area. Both the Blue Note Review and the Live Jazz Concert Review papers are expected to be turned in as PDFs on time. For the album review and introduction, describing what the paper is about, the album name, bio on the band leader, the side men or women, and their instruments, a short description of each track, and the majority of the paper will be your overall impressions and feelings of the songs and the album as a whole. There will be 10 records to choose from. Please do not try to copy someone from last semester's paper because the albums are different. You will be caught and you will be reprimanded. For the live jazz concert review, include an introduction, describe what the paper is about, the venue name, the date you went, the set info, a bio on the band leader, the name of the side men and women and their instruments, a short description of the songs they performed, and the majority of the paper, once again, will be your overall impressions and feelings of the songs and performance as a whole. Again, don't try to copy someone's paper, because if the concert is not from this semester, meaning this September through December, your paper will not count and you will be reprimanded. The last portion of the paper, which is your opinion and overall impressions, is your opportunity to connect to the music presented, and more in-depth and thoughtful responses will be rewarded. This, in fact, is the majority of the grade of the paper. So there's no use trying to copy something that's online already, because I want your opinions. Okay, moving on. Policy for missed or late work. Student is expected to complete all assignments on time. There are no extensions on assignment deadlines. So get out your calendars or get your calendar on your phone ready, because we're going to go over the dates where everything is due. There are 3 dates where each portion of assignments are due. If you know you will have a difficult time finishing each section, get the work done early. If a student misses an assignment or does not complete it, their final grade will reflect the 0% for those assignments. The grading ratios are as follows. 45% of your grade will be the 15 quizzes, one at the end of each weekly lecture. There are 3 due dates split evenly throughout the semester, so meaning 5 weeks in, the first 5 quizzes are due. 10 weeks in, the next 5 quizzes are due. And then 15 weeks in, the last 5 quizzes are due. 15% of your grade is going to be that Blue Note Records album review that I talked about. 15% of your grade is going to be the live jazz concert review. And then finally, 25%, 1/4 of your grade, is the final test, which happens online during finals week. We're going to go over the dates of that in a second. We have the standard A, B, C, D, F grading system. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, so on and so forth. Under no circumstances do I round up scores or alter grades based on personal appeals or inquiries. Don't even try. I do not allow students to improve their grades with additional extra credit assignments beyond the core assignments of the course, with the exception of the bonus quiz in week 3, which we'll talk about, and there might be 1 or 2 other extra credit opportunities. Blackboard will be the primary digital hub of communication for the course. Assignments will be administered there, and your grades will be posted there. Quizzes will happen there, etc., etc. The rest of the syllabus is boilerplate, and you can follow. You can follow along and just read that. As a note that's happening recently, I had several papers last semester that were ChatGPT papers. That's just a form of plagiarism. It's just a new modern form of plagiarism because you didn't come up with the material yourself. At this point in ChatGPT's life, that is easily spottable. And myself and my graders are active parts of the jazz scene in Chicago. So we'll know if you're coming up with some random person's name that doesn't exist, or you went to a venue that doesn't exist or doesn't have music at that time. So just do the work and we're going to be cool. Okay, moving on. If you could open up the weekly schedule that's posted in the Blackboard, you're going to see the weeks split up. You can see the semester split up by weeks, what weeks those are, what topics we're talking about, and due dates. So let's go over it together. Week 1 is August 21st. You're going to read this. You're going to watch this introduction. You're going to go through the syllabus. You're going to go through the weekly schedule with me. And the podcast talks about early jazz and the lecture. There's a quiz. The next week, August 28th, we're going to talk about Louis Armstrong. There's a quiz at the end of that week. The third week, September 5th, we're going to talk about the big band era. There's a quiz. There's also an extra quiz, a bonus quiz that'll give you up to 3% of your grade. That quiz is due on Sunday night, September 10th by 11:59 p.m. with no extensions and no exceptions. So if you want the free 3%, write down in your schedule book by September 10th at 11:59 p.m. You have to have turned in this bonus quiz. Week 4 is the week of September 11th. Week 5 is the week of September 18th. We're going to talk about Duke Ellington and bebop in those weeks. And weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the quizzes are going to be due on September 24th, Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And then that's the first third of the course. Then we continue through weeks 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you take a look at that, and those weeks, quizzes are all going to be due on October 22nd at 11:59 p.m., as well as your Blue Note Records album review paper. All of that is due on October 22nd at 11:59 p.m. So write that down in your schedule books. And then we're hitting the last third of the class, starting on October 23rd. That's week 11, week 12, week 13, week 14, week 15, where we talk about modern jazz and what's going on today. That's the week of November 20th. And quizzes 11 through 15 are due, as well as your concert review, on Sunday, November 26th at 11:59 p.m. And then 25% of your grade is the finals, is your final in this class. You have from Monday, December 4th until Friday, December 8th at 11:59 p.m. to do your online final. And if you don't get it done by 11:59 p.m. on December 8th, that's 1/4 of your grade. So there you go. That's the class. We're going to get more specific as the course goes on. If you have any questions, again, my email is arabagon@uic.edu, but everything pretty much becomes self-explanatory, and the weeks are very, very similar. I am reading off I came up with lecture notes for each of the 15 weeks, and I'm reading off of those mainly to save you guys time. Each of the lectures are between 15 minutes to a half hour long. I would go off on more stories and give you more information if I didn't read off my notes. So I'm trying to save you guys time by doing that. And the quizzes are pretty self-explanatory. They're pretty easy as long as you watch the lecture, listen to the playlist, and then listen to the podcast each week. Everything's pretty straight up. So looking forward to this semester with you guys and girls, and let me know if you have any questions, but let's jump right in. Thank you.